जन विकास महासभा एवं सोसाइटी ऑफ कैरियर टेक्नोलॉजी द्वारा संचालित इस जूलॉजी क्लास के आज 50वें एपिसोड में आपका स्वागत है। आप सभी ऑडियंस ने जो हमें प्यार और स्नेह दिया है, हमारी सोसाइटी उसके लिए आप सबकी आभारी है। आज हम लोग लिंकेज के बारे में इंग्लिश मीडियम में बात करेंगे और जल्दी ही 100 एपिसोड पूरे होने पर हम कुछ और नई घोषणा करने जा रहे हैं कि अपने इस काम को और आगे कितना बढ़ाएं, जिससे कि अधिक से अधिक गांव और कस्बे के निवासी बच्चों को प्रतियोगी परीक्षा की तैयारी करते समय फ़ायदा पहुंच सके। सो टुडे यू आर वेलकम इन द zoology genetics class. Today we will discuss linkage. We will have to start it from test cross. And as I have already told you that a heterozygous recessive individual is always homozygous. It is small r or small t. But when we talk about an individual which is phenotypically dominant, it may be either homozygous or heterozygous. Both are phenotypically similar because it is dominant on this. So, to find it out whether a dominant phenotype individual is homozygous or heterozygous, a test cross is done in which it is crossed either with a recessive individual. The advantage is that this recessive individual produces only one type of gamete, and the other type of gamete is to be produced by this parent. So if only one type of offsprings are found in F1 generation, it means it is producing only one type of gamete. It means it is homozygous. So there is one possibility that it produces capital T only because it is homozygous, and both of them combine together to form capital T small t, which is also phenotypically tall. So if all individuals are phenotypically tall, it means and only one type of offsprings are obtained, it means it is producing only one type of gamete. It means it is containing only one type of factors or genes. In another case, suppose the individual is heterozygous, it will produce two types of individuals. If this combines with small t, it will form this one, and if combines with this, it will form small t. So it will become dwarf and it will become tall. So if two types of individuals are there, it means it is producing two types of gametes, and if it is producing two types of gametes, it means it is heterozygous. So another way of interpreting independent assortment is that in dihybrid cross, the heterozygous individual of dihybrid cross of F1 generation, if it is crossed with a recessive individual, it produces four types of individuals in equal proportion 1, 1, 1, 1. It is a universal fact. But now what happened? In 1906, in sweet pea Lathyrus odoratus, it was found that blue flower color was dominant on red and long pollen character was dominant on round pollen. So if a cross was made in between blue long into red round, in F1 generation all the individuals were blue long. When it was done test cross in between this blue long and a red round, then four types of individuals were obtained, but they were not in the usual 1-1-1-1 ratio. Here the ratio was 7-7-1-1. The parental combinations were in much more amount, and the recombinations which have one character of the mother, one character of the father, they were called recombinations, they were in less proportion. But Bateson and Punnett could not explain it. They just explained it that if the two characters are present together in the parents, they showed a tendency to remain together in the offsprings also. This was called coupling. When two characters were present in different parents, they also showed a tendency to remain separate in the offsprings. That was called repulsion. But why it was happening, it was not explained by Bateson and Punnett in 1906. A few years later, in 1910, Thomas Hunt Morgan also obtained a similar result while working with two pairs of characters of fruit fly Drosophila. In fruit fly Drosophila, the grey body is dominant on black body and long wing character is dominant on vestigial wing. So when a cross was made in between grey body long winged individual with a black body vestigial winged individual, in F1 generation all the individuals were having both dominant character, grey body long wing. But when this heterozygous individual of F1 was test crossed with black body vestigial wing, then in F2 generation, grey long was 41.5%, black vestigial was 41.5%, grey vestigial was 8.5%, black long was 8.5%. Means parental combinations were 83% and recombinations were 17%. But now, T.H. Morgan could explain the reason behind this unusual result. T.H. Morgan said that there are two possibilities. One, if genes for two different characters are present in two different chromosomes, they will show independent assortment. But there may be possibility that if genes for two different characters are present on same set of chromosomes, then it is called linkage. Now let us see what happens in both cases. Told that in Drosophila fruit fly, although I have taken this with the experiment of Bateson and Punnett, if the genes for two flower characters, blue and red flowers, are on this set of chromosome and genes of long pollen and round pollen are present on this, then what will happen? It will produce four types of gametes. It will produce one type of gamete. So if it will combines with all these four types of offsprings will be obtained in equal ratio 1, 1, 1, 1. It is in case of independent assortment. But in case there is one possibility that these two set of genes may be present on the same set of chromosome, then what will happen? They will form only two types of gametes. And when they will form only two types of gametes, when it will combine with the other gamete, it will form only two types of offsprings. So when genes for two different set of characters are present on the same chromosome, the process is called linkage. This linkage may be of three types: complete linkage, incomplete linkage, or sex linkage. Here you can see, but one more problem arises. How these few recombinations arise? And T.H. Morgan explained that some recombinations arise due to exchange of segments in between the homologous chromosomes, which is called crossing over. T.H. Morgan told one more interesting fact, that there is a difference in reciprocal cross here. Suppose we take grey body long wing male of F1 generation, then in a test cross it will produce only two types of individuals, grey body long wing 50% and black body vestigial wing 50%, because no crossing over takes place in Drosophila male, that there are no recombinations at all, but just the reciprocal cross. Here the grey body long wing male was taken, here grey body long wing female was taken, and it was married with a black vestigial male. Here we get four types of individuals. Parental combinations are 83%, grey long 41.5%, black vestigial 41.5%, and 17% were recombinations due to crossing over. Grey vestigial 8.5% and black long 8.5%. T.H. Morgan said that there are three types of linkage. One, complete linkage. As it happens in case of male Drosophila, where there is complete linkage, there is no crossing over at all. So in male Drosophila and in silk moth female, there is complete linkage. The second condition is incomplete linkage. In incomplete linkage, some recombinations also arise due to crossing over. And the third is sex linkage, when genes of a particular chromosome are present on the sex chromosome or in X chromosome, it is called sex linkage. Linkage study is important in the sense that the number of homologous chromosomes are function as a linkage group. For example, in Drosophila we have 4 pairs of chromosomes. It means there are 4 linkage groups. All the genes are present in 4 groups on the 4 chromosomes. These 4 chromosomes form 4 linkage groups. In human being we have 23 pairs of chromosomes. There are 23 sets of chromosomes. So there are 23 groups or 23 linkage group in case of human being. And then regarding details of crossing over, we will talk on the next term. Thank you very much.